Welcome back, all of you string picking guys and gals out there, to part two of the Westcreek Aetheris series. Thinking this might be the last part. I don't know. It depends on if I run into any problems or not. Who knows? So far, so good. Little changes that I'm making are a personal preference to me. Got some stuff that showed up. Part one, we talked about just how awesome the guys at Fret Not are for having the giveaways that they have every weekend that on Saturdays, and how I won this guitar from those guys. And I'm an 80s kid, so this just screams the 80s hair metal era. And of course, out of the box, I wanted to demo it just as I got it without doing anything to it. And you could see in part one that turned out pretty good. It's got great sound. The pickups are amazing in this thing. I love the pickups. But we have some stuff that showed up in the mail today. Today we are going to put some strap locks on. I've got some strap locks. These are my favorite to use. It's the same kind I keep on Thumper, my bass. We have a string bar to put on. That is going to hopefully help take some of the tension off of one of these rolling string trees. You can see that it's cranked way down. Now that does not affect the playability whatsoever, but I kind of want to take a little bit off of that and help it out along the way just a little bit, so it doesn't have to be cranked down so almost to the headstock. It just looks like to me that over time that's going to yank them threads right out of that wood, and I don't want that to happen. So we're going to put a string bar across it, probably about right in here, to kind of help hold those strings down above the nut. So, and also we are going to change out these tuners for Aetheris locking tuners. That's right. Chris over at BCG 5150 Guitars. I think he was the one that he swears by these. And I bought a set and I put it on Richie, which is my EC256. And I love them. They're really cool. I'm just looking forward to putting them on this one. So see if it'll help out with the tuning stability. Which tuning stability isn't bad, but it isn't good either. So, but yes, we have Aetheris. Got them all right here in the bag, ready to go, and we have a strap for it. And also, these strap buttons that come with this are really good strap buttons. They're not your normal cone shape, the ones that I really worry about. These are sort of rounded on the top, and they're just flat and sharp around on the bottom, so that when you put them on, they stay on. So I'm keeping these. I'm going to put them in my little miscellaneous drawer behind me here, and we are going to put on this strap to this thing today. And this strap I ordered from Amazon, and this is called a Melody Rules. It is a leather strap, good, and it feels good. It's non-slip on the bottom, so you don't have to worry about neck dive. I put one of these on Thumper just because no, it wasn't Thumper, it was another one. I had a guitar that had a lot of neck dive, and if you get this back right here, it helps prevent that neck dive. So that's going to go on today. So we are going to take the strings off of this thing. We are going to put a good set of D'Addarios on it. D'Addarios. Ever how you want to pronounce that. I call it D'Addarios. Some people call it D'Addarios. Whatever. They're good strings. That's all I'm going to say. And besides that, I think we are going to condition the neck. The frets really don't need polishing at all. So I don't think I'm going to bother with the frets. I'm going to look and see if we have any that are raised, which I don't think that we do, because I don't get any buzzing or any ring out or anything like that at all on this neck. I watched Cody at the cheap guitar channel where he had bought a bass and it had a big old thick beefy neck, and he sanded it down to a much thinner profile. And I thought about that, but the more I play this, I don't think it needs it. The neck is not as thick as I thought it was. I'm going to give you measurements on that. We're going to measure these tuners as well, and because I'm betting they're 15 to 1, and I'm going to take care of that. We're going to look this thing over, and we're going to do what we do here on the String Pickers channel. We're going to make it mine. We are going to make this thing a very, very, very cool instrument. I am so glad that I got picked to win this particular guitar, because I have not bought any Westcreeks, and I wanted to try them as well as Leo James out in Fesley, but I am a slave to reviews. I always look at reviews, and sometimes playing them is the best review you can get for an instrument, and you know how it feels in the hand, if you can make it work for you and stuff like that. So you guys hang around. We're going to get you over here on the bench, and we're going to start taking this thing apart, strings off and stuff. I am not taking the neck off today. I may look into the back cavity at the electronics, see about the electronics, but I don't think I'm even going to touch those. So we may just blot that out altogether. It's got some killer push-pull knobs in it. I do have a plan to put a pure tone jack in it. That is coming in the future. I messed around and didn't order it with the rest of the stuff this time, but that's going to happen. I am getting some pure tone jacks and have one put in this guitar, and I've got a couple more that I want to put it in too. Most of the time I say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I don't want this thing to get beefed up and everything looking all cool and everything, and it playing great, and all of a sudden start, getting that pop in every time you move your amp cord, or well, with me, a cordless. So, like I said, let's get on the bench. Let's take care of it. Okay, guys, the first thing we are going to do is check these tuners here, because I did not dig up any sort of specs on this guitar whatsoever. We're going to put this toothpick in here. We're going to clip it off right here, and we're going to count the pointy side. So let's get that around. Scoot this over just a little bit so I got room on my bench here. Okay. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 to 1. Okay, well, that blowed me away, because I did not think these were 18 to 1 at all whatsoever. So I'm going to set you guys up on a bit of a time lapse and let you, because I don't want to sit through all the boring stuff. So I'll set you up on a time lapse and get you situated where you can watch the transformation. Okay, guys, we have the Aetheris locking tuners installed. That's just plumb sexy. I like Aetheris. They are installed. I did run into something that makes me want to change this out. It did have a thicker block, because when I first seen this, I thought it was just a thin block, but it's kind of thick up here. And so I may leave it on for a while, but if you can see right here, these grooves, that's where the strings go through on the bridge. But, and I looked at the knife edges. The knife edges look really good. They're not flattened out or anything, so I don't have to worry about instability in the tuning. But the one problem I do have with this is these posts, they just slide right out. So I thought about maybe gluing those, putting a little bit of wood glue or something down in there for those. But then I kind of thought to myself, you know what? I don't believe I'll do that, because if I change it at some other time, I want to take those out. So I will tell you that gluing those in is a bad idea. Because once you glue them in, they're really hard to get out. And, you know, in this way, I can just pull them out and they're okay. So I don't know. That's just me. I don't know about a lot of you people out there, but I don't plan on going absolutely crazy with the tremolo on this guitar anyway. So I'm just going to leave those in, and I'm going to leave the trim in for right now. Today's string choice, the Darios. Darios. We got the XT's nickel plated steel, extended life, and natural feel. We're doing 10s through 46s because I'm not a huge, well, I like 9s, but 10s to me are just as good. And you get a little more warmth from the strings. So this is what we're going to put on today. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take them out of here. We're going to thread them through the bridge, and we're going to go from there. We got colored balls, colored balls. Okay, guys, we've got it stringed back up. However, the strings are loose. We've not got them tightened up yet because we're about to install the spring bar. Now, I don't know if you noticed in the time lapse, but what I did was position the string bar where I would like for it to be, taped it down just like so, and I took my tiny little drill bit and I dropped it through the hole, and I took the hammer and I pecked it so it would leave an indentation in the paint on both sides, so we would know exactly or where to drill the holes. So we got the holes drilled, two pretty clean holes that are barely noticeable. And now we are going to put our screws in. So we've got that. I think that this is going to help out quite a bit, especially taking the tension off of those string trees. I'm sure that it being roasted maple, that it will be stout enough, but you never know. And I'd sure hate to be playing this thing and then one of them string trees just give out and start backing out. You don't want that to happen. That's a bad day if you're gigging or even practicing with buddies, because nobody is going to sit around and watch you fix your broke instrument for an hour to an hour and a half when they could be playing music. So I've done this before on one of my other guitars. It had them terrible string trees, not the rolling ones, but the ones you get like on a budget Fender or something like that. They were just awful, and I was scared to death of them things. I thought, man, there is no way that they are going to last, especially if I put on a set of 10s or 11s or something like that. Okay, that looks a little better. That's about even. Just a little bit more. Yeah, that looks great. I'm going to clip these strings off real quick and I'll show you guys what this is looking like now. Get you down here so you can see what's going on. These string bars right here are made by Bandworks. You can get them on Amazon. They usually cost about $9-10 for 2 of them in a package. I always get them like that in case I run into an instrument. But you see how it's taking a whole lot of tension off of that rolling string tree right there. I wasn't really worried about this one as much as I was this one. This one was the one I was really afraid that it would back out of that wood before long. This thing is just about ready to go. We lack very little left to do. We just have to tune and set it up. But yeah, there's a string bar. That's going to help out a whole lot with that. I don't know if you guys ever like to install these, but I love to have these string bars on there because they really help out a whole lot. So, all right, I'm going to tune this thing up and see if we can't get the bridge down here back up where it's supposed to be. The strings are rather loose right now. So we're going to tune that up and see if I am going to have to make an adjustment on account of the thickness of these strings. I wasn't sure what size Rob and Colton had sent on the guitar, or if it was just the strings that came on the guitar. If it was, I'm sure it's probably 9s. I like 10s. 10s is pretty much versatile for about every tuning down to C. So we're going to do that and see if we got to tighten up the claw and then go from there. Okay, it looks like we've got them tightened up to pitch, but we have a problem. The tremolo is still kind of laid back into the pocket that's drilled out for it. So what we're going to go ahead and do is stretch the strings. And to stretch the strings, you just take your fingers and then put your thumbs right here and then just push with your thumbs and pull with your fingers and go all the way up the neck and do that. I know people have different ways of doing this, but this is usually the way that I like to do this because it's faster and you get to play your guitar quicker. Now, who wants to spend all their time tuning and letting strings stretch and then by themselves or something and then tuning again when you can do it this way? And it helps out. It helps to get it done a whole lot faster. Careful on the E string though. You don't want to put a whole lot of pressure on it. You do want to put some. And let's check the tuning. Yep, we stretched them plumb down to a D when that was like an E sharp. Okay, Got the strap locks out. Got our tremolo setting just where it needs to be. You can pull back just a little and down a little. Strings are stretched enough. Had to do that about 4 times. They're staying in pretty good right now. I'm sure I may have to tighten them just a little over the next couple of days. These are the strap buttons that come on this guitar. If you can see the rounded top, they got the bottom is real sharp. These are good for holding on a strap. I mean, you probably wouldn't want to gig with that on there, but especially if you move around a lot. But both of them are like that. I am keeping those. Those are good ones. I could put those on any other guitar and they will do just fine. Let's see. And these are the strap locks that we're going to put on there. I wanted the black ones, but I ended up getting the gun black because I don't know if many of you know this or not, but I'm sort of a gun person too. And basically, this is how these work. You just pull up and it releases. Once this is on the strap, you pull up and it releases, or you just push when you put it on there, pull up and it slides right down there, and then it's locked into place. These are really good. Okay, we got both the strap locks in, so let's take this down and let's flip this baby over. We're going to quieten this thing down just a little bit. So what I'm going to use, thanks to Aetheris, because they always send this stuff in the package with the locking tuners, is foam. About 3/8 of an inch thick. I am just going to cut this up and put it right up and under these springs. It's not really loud, but you can hear them whenever you're in the room with it. It doesn't really come through a lot on the way you guys hear it, which is usually through the interface that I use. That'll work just fine. Okay. Thank you, Aetheris, for the foam that you always send. It's a big help. Now, we're going to put the back plate back on this thing and we're going to wipe her down good, get her good and shiny again because it's got my fingerprints and sweat and stuff all over it. And I do like to keep my guitars somewhat clean. So I'm going to do that off camera. And when you come back, you guys will be getting a little bit of a demo after this guitar. We're going to put it through its paces and see if it falls out of tune or what happens with it. she's mine now. Got it set up the way I want it. Everything is looking good. The bridge is sitting nice and level. Action is about 1.4 millimeters on the top, about 1.2 I think on the bottom. Not very high at all on the bottom. Real comfortable to play, just really comfortable to play. Adjusted the pickup height. And of course, we got the Aetheris locking tuners on the back. We have the string bar installed. Never mind this. I use that when I'm not a very good lead player, so I use this sometimes to deaden the strings I might hit by accident and to muffle out string noise up here, which is pretty much gone away now that I've got that bar on there. Bar's sitting good. Looks like it's taken a lot of tension off of this string tree right here. And plus it looks cool. And yeah, so I have off camera, I kind of put it through its paces a little bit, done some string bends and stuff like that. For the most part, it's staying in tune. Give this thing another day or so to finish stretching. I don't think that I will have to tune at all. If anything, it'll barely be, just a little bit because of the bridge. I know that in the past, when I stretch strings like that over like a 24-hour period, that I may have to just fine tune a little bit and then they're good to go. It does not have locking tuners. I didn't put the wiggle stick in it. And I'll tell you why I didn't put it in there, because these strings, I was afraid that I would use that and it would drop out because they're new strings. So I'm going to save that for a later video. This will not be the last time that you see this. This guitar is going to be used very heavily on this channel, especially to demo amps, pedals, stuff like that. Once again, big, huge shout out to Rob and Colton from Fret Not Guitar Reviews. A link to their channel in the description below. So if you guys can, go check them out. Subscribe to their channel. This is really easy to win. And you're not going, I've been on there for quite a while. I never win anything. So I only put in for the guitars that really caught my eye. And this was one of them. I've always kind of wanted to try the Leo James and the Westcreek, and this did not disappoint. I don't know how they can do this for $240. I just don't know how. I mean, I get the tuners were a little cheaper made, but I mean, I fixed that for 20 bucks. I put like $20 into those tuners. They were, I get it's Amazon deal something July the 8th through the 12th. And so, yeah, I put those on there, put that string bar on there for 10 bucks. I got two of those for 10 and put some strap locks on it. That's just a preference thing to me, because my guitars that I hold near and dear to my heart have these kind of strap locks on them. And they are just simply little lifted up. They're almost like air hose quick connects is what I would compare them to. Really, really nice string. I have them on this one now, and the same brand on the bass that I have, Thumper, and I've got the same brand on the LTD Richie. He's got a gold set to match his hardware, got a black set to match the bass, and I got the gun black, which I thought about getting black for this, but a lot of you probably don't know this, but I'm kind of a gun person. I like shooting and target practicing and hunting and all that stuff. And so I've got several guns as well. And so I thought gun black was, kind of fitting for this. It looks cool. Yeah. Really, really impressed by this. Really impressed. Once again, go subscribe to Fret Not One at Fret Not One or Fret Not Guitar Reviews. They have several series on that channel. There's a high gain series, the entry level metal series, which is what this come from. And they do a lot of cool things over there. So yeah, go check those guys out. They're awesome. And if you're not subscribed here, subscribe here. You know, I mean, it's a fun place to be. I've told you that in like 2 or 3 videos now, and you've not subscribed yet. What's going on, man? I mean, all you gotta do is just click, you know, and that's it. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you coming in, being on this little journey with me with this guitar. Thought that this was going to be a 4 or 5 part series, and I just can't believe I've got it to where I want it in just 2. And the first one, I really didn't do anything. I just pulled it out of the box and played it, and you heard how that sounded. This time, I wanted to do more of a rhythm type thing instead of a lead type thing. So we've done that little rhythm over a backing track and sounded good. Done a little bit of sound test with it by itself afterwards. That sounded good as well. I did, however, mic it with my new Mackie condenser mic. I didn't even have the SM57 at all on that one. I just run the condenser mic, and that was it. That's all that you heard on that mix that we did. And I run it through the Tascam, used it for a mixer on the EQ, and then run it through my interface straight to you guys. So I hope you enjoyed that. But guys, as I always say, I pray that you and yours are having the best day ever. And I pray to God that He is with you all. Until next time, later.